If you could sign in and state your name for the record, please.
Yeah, hi. My name is Alyssa Beck. I have a question about the consent agenda motion. I guess it's A3, where it says a motion to send a request RFP to MS Consultants and HRG Engineering for the engineering consulting services for the municipal separate storm sewer system MS4 project. I haven't heard anything about that, and as many of you, most of you, all of you know, I'm real interested in stormwater and the sustainability aspects of it, so I'm wondering if you have anything to share about that. Bioswales, bioretention ponds, native plants, things that community members can do to put meadows in their yards. So I'm just interested in that.
Yeah, we're there, and I'll hand it over to either Mr. Little or Mr. Harvey here in a moment. But this is, they have a stormwater management MS4 committee, and they are just requesting proposals for the engineers that can oversee this. So they're not at the stage where they're at a public discussion about the actual program, MS4 program.
Okay, so from my perspective, if you're putting an RFP out, then it would be critical within the context of that RFP to put things specifically in the RFP to make sure that the engineers that are coming here understand regeneration, giving back to the earth. So
that would be part of what the committee would have the engineers do once the engineering firm is hired.
Okay, but so I don't think you're hearing me. Let me rephrase it.
No, I'm hearing you, but I think you're early on what you're saying.
And that's what I've been told over and over again in my lifetime. So let me rephrase it. If you don't have an engineering firm that understands sustainability, then the municipality's not going to get that in what is delivered.
They do.
Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you.
And I'll be interested in looking at it. Where will it be publicly available?
We're going to, when it all is put together, we'll have it for the public here.
So the RFP has that information in it so that we're sure we get an engineering firm that's sensitive to these issues?
Mr. Harvey, if you could maybe elaborate.
Yeah.
After about maybe 10 meetings, the MS4 committee had a whole bunch of information to sort through and sift through so we could make English language to council and the residents of Monroeville to review it. And this is about pollution control and flood reduction. And it's a mandate by the federal government. The person in this room that probably understands it the most is Mr. Hugus. And so he is part of the committee. We intend on shortly presenting an ordinance to council with some other documents for their review. And it's going to take them some time to read this and review it and absorb it. There are billing issues. There are stormwater fee considerations. There are the order of severity of projects to get completed. There are the people to put on MS4. There's an appeals board. And so what I'm saying to you is I would soon, I hope to pass out a packet to council that would include all these documents for their review. So I'm asking everybody to please be patient. As soon as we get this information put together so it's understandable, we will provide this to the council and public in an organized fashion. And at that point, we would have separate meetings for your your concerns once you read those documents. Okay.
In your 10 meetings, was there any discussion of the involvement of citizens and their private residences and how they can contribute to stormwater management?
Yes.
There was. But once again, there were so many things to consider, and then at the last minute, which you see with this RFP here, and I say at the last minute, considering the scope of this project, it was at the last minute, the federal government said, oh, hey, local governments, those of you that are designing MS4,
Program.
Solutions, we want you to take care of stormwater runoff and sediment control. So it was a giant lump and expense, and we're not even sure how giant it is hence why we're going out for the, which you see on the agenda today.
Do we know what percentage of the municipality is actually taken up by residences? Because that's a huge piece, rooftops,
We do,
lawns.
we do. It's
That'll-
all being figured out.
that'll be
Okay,
factored
Yes,
awesome.
it's
Thank
all
you.
being figured out.
There's,
Thank you.
there's graphical top view.
Now I'm ready to sit down and you want,
Yeah, I'm almost going, oops,
Yeah,
of all the impervial surface that Minerville has.
that's
So we can
beautiful.
try to calculate
That
Yes.
includes rooftops
Correct.
and driveways.
All
and
of it.
streets.
pavement,
Yes.
things like that.
Okay.
yes.
And bioswales, rain gardens, rain barrels, those will be part of the
Everything
solution.
Including suggestions to residents to do those
Oh,
things as
absolutely.
well. Beautiful.
They will receive some type of break if they do that.
That's
But to answer
beautiful.
your
One
direct
time.
question, I'm not sure if that would be in the RFP, because that's more in the actual,
I suggest, I have a little bit of background in this kind of thing, I suggest that you put a little piece in there about the RFP, because if the firm doesn't understand it as completely as Mr. Harvey, then you're not going to
They
get it.
will, they do.
Okay,
Mr. Hughes, again,
I'm just letting you know they do.
Okay.
We've spent a lot of time on this already.
picking some good people.
Absolutely.
Okay,
And been
who
to
have
conferences.
experience
We
in
have been to
that.
conferences and.
Okay, beautiful.
Yes.
I'm
Very
very
good.
happy,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
I'm going to leave the